I'd like to call the Planning Commission meeting of July 1st, 2026 for Pledge Allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to take minutes, Dave? You ain't good at taking minutes, Dave? Sure.
Yeah, but I'm helping Ben wrap up all the minutes that we're catching up on, so we'll have them all for you next month. He actually had January's, March's.
Did they make any agendas?
No, but she can do them.
Oh, I saw the one online. It's fine. I don't.
Yeah, there's only two
I
items.
saw it.
Okay, thanks.
We don't have any, the only members is Kathy, myself, and Dave. We don't have any minutes to go over,
No, we'll have those for you next month.
so there's no minutes to go over. Any old business? Dave, do you have, I know you're a new member, do you have anything that you might want
I've been going over your data center stuff.
to,
So
that's all to take care of.
Yeah, we adopted that.
Oh,
Yeah, your first meeting was our last meeting, because it goes from us and it goes to the board, so we actually adopted it. But if you're actually, please call me if you want to talk about any other.
okay. Can I send you my comments
Sure,
on it?
sure.
Okay. Was it signed already?
Yeah,
Okay.
but won't hurt, doesn't hurt.
Okay. Yeah, I got some comments. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
If you want to incorporate it, fine.
No, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay. Any new business? We have a subdivision for Thompson Land Company, where they want to subdivide 1.36 acres off of, I guess it's what, 13? 15.271 acres.
Mhm.
And you have some comments for us?
Yeah, so I'm township engineer. So we went and reviewed this. Subdivision looks pretty good. The original tract was 15.271 acres. They're subdividing off 1.36 acres, and then the residual tract will be 12.583 acres. It all looked pretty good. Our biggest comment was just to go and show a couple other things on the plans. For the lot 1, the smaller lot, which currently houses like the Cohen gas station that's right there, just for them to go and show their proposed, like the leach field. I'm pretty sure it's like a sand mound that they have like approved for there. So they just need to show it on the plans. We just make sure that the lines that they're doing so that the leach field isn't on the other person's property. And then they also need to add for the residual track either a non-building waiver for it, or if they want, they could do a whole sewage planning module. But I spoke to the Cohen people, the subdivision people, the Cohen, and they said they're just going to do like a non-building waiver, and they're just working through that with the sewage authority, Washington County Sewage Council, to go and get the proper things in place. Yeah, and those were basically the extent of my comments. It was also like show the existing structures on it, which is relatively minor. I'd recommend going improving contingent upon that they satisfy those comments, the comments that I had in the letter, because I don't really foresee anything else changing, because I know they already have sewage planning approved for lot 1, and they just need to put for lot 2, though, they won't really build anything on it.
And Mr. Chairman, members, just for your information, the applicant, he's in Warrendale, so because there was any technical comments, Nicole had talked to him today, and I had talked to him this afternoon, and we indicated it wasn't necessary for him to make the trip down here. Just note also that Nicole's comment letter is dated June 24th, 2026.
Yeah.
Now, does it make any difference that, and it's in that area where we have 500 foot of commercial along the corridor, it's more than 500 foot, we have to change that at all?
No, the zoning line doesn't really impact, I mean, there's consequences to that depending upon what somebody may want in the future to do with it, but there's, the zoning line is the zoning line, and the property line is the property line. Sometimes you'll have a border that goes across a zoning district.
Okay, anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion,
Accept it?
It would be appropriate to have that motion be contingent upon addressing all of the engineer's comments to their satisfaction.
Dave seconds it?
Second it?
Yep. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. So I guess we'll see this at the next meeting.
Yeah. If they address everything and get it into her, we'll put it on.
Have you heard anything on this set at all, any of them others?
So I have been talking to them. They also need to do their sewage planning and everything for it, and I think they just waited a while to go and go down to the sewage council, and they went down there, I think in the middle of last week, and they didn't have everything that they needed. So they're still in the process of going and getting their sewage figured out for that. Yeah, I think they weren't eligible for the 10-acre exemption, which they originally thought.
They weren't?
Yeah, because that's through Washington County Sewage Council, so I didn't see the paperwork. But when they went down there, they figured out they weren't eligible for that. So now they're going through, and I believe they're going to get perk tests and try and get all that figured out. So that's why it's still just being tabled.
Okay. New business. Do you have anything, was there anything else? We want
No, if you want to talk about the...
Would like to talk about the upcoming comprehensive plan that we are with 4 other communities sharing costs with. Would like to get some input from anybody.
I don't know if I have specific input. I was just
Well-
curious as to is Smith Township one of them or no?
Yes.
Okay, Smith. And also, I guess
I think Smith is involved in that. There's 5 communities, or 4 communities beside us.
Okay. I guess I was curious about the process of how all the municipalities are getting together and having discussions about goals for, I guess.
Let me just ask you, have you ever been familiar with watching like us in the past or other communities go through these where they'll do samples, get outreach?
Yes,
Usually they hire a professional firm.
I remember when, I think I don't know, was it 2018?
18 or 17, yeah.
And then I think actually the one before that I was very vaguely aware of all of that. So I do know that yes, some of that.
I think it's going to be kind of like I was kind of talking with you before and indicating, it might be a little bit, I don't know what softer is the word, in terms of nuts and bolts on the ground and when it gets into the process.
Yeah.
But I do envision, because there is a grant money involved, I think when you folks meet next week, other than having an inaugural discussion about, hey, I think one of their first steps is actually going to be to hire a planning company that does comprehensive plans.
Yeah.
And then once they do that, I'm sure they'll start doing all this stuff where they start getting with them, get background information. They'll probably start doing this, if they do survey type stuff, and then start doing any kind of public input meetings and stuff like that.
Okay.
They got 3
But
proposals.
they'll be able to give us a better idea. Oh, they did already?
They got
Okay.
3 proposals from 3 different firms.
Okay.
And, there are different ranges in prices. And that's what the meeting next week is going to be. They're not going to bring anybody of them people in because they do want to know what Smith Township's goals may be.
Yeah.
Jefferson, what their goals. Jefferson wants to be more farming related and everything like that. So that's what we had a meeting coming up. So I thought we'd just try to come up with something and see what kind of goals they're interested in.
Yeah.
Been nice if there's more participation, but that doesn't happen. But so.
I have not put much thought into this at all, and I think you guys are already addressing it, but the data centers are a huge, I wish Robinson Township and some of these other places where it could be in this too, because I just think, really thinking about where we want those things and how they're gonna,
Well, that's-
if we want them. And I know we just passed the whole, a lot of.
It would have been
which I
nice
think
for
is
some of
great.
our border towns to have jumped in as well. You're right.
Exactly, yeah, and kind of like, yes, if we can all decide like where, do we wanna just
Mhm.
make one, something like that.
Do you happen to know if Robinson, did they do a data center?
I don't think we've done a data center ordinance in Robinson yet.
Well, they got a proposal.
They actually have
Oh, I
a,
know, I just looked on the map and I'm like.
Wait,
oh
no,
my
I
gosh,
lied.
It's literally right over there.
Or
No, I lied. They definitely do have one.
they made quite
They
a
have
lot of
one.
before, because they were already dealing up on the strip there above the,
Yeah.
on that pad up there.
They definitely do have one. Yeah. I lied. Sorry.
Do you know if Smith has one? Because I know they're doing that like
Yeah.
Star Point thing.
Yeah.
So which I think is Smith.
Star
right?
Point, I think
Or-
Star Point's getting one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
actually,
they do have data center
and
ordinance.
Nicole
Yeah,
also.
but they're
you guys
getting,
do
they're
some
getting a data
township.
center.
Yeah.
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 Nicole's firm represents
Oh,
Smith.
nice.
exactly.
You know that.
And we actually benefited to the taxpayer savings because with permission, we, like I say, we plagiarism, grace for a flag. We actually took a lot from what because they had some issues. They had somebody come in before they had an ordinance, and they went through some pains, and then they had like 2 generations of ordinances put in before we even had the benefit of their work product coming out of the gate. So,
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything you want to say about the comprehensive plan, something for that meeting
Well,
that you may be going to next week?
I was quite disappointed that Cannonsburg Hospital went towards South Point to build a hospital. Wouldn't it have been a wonderful place to bring out here toward McDonald? Because there's St. Clair Hospital, there's Jefferson, for those people in the South Hills Village. Everything we want, we have to go in toward Bridgeville or Cannonsburg. Now it's going further from us. And I just think that Cannonsburg Hospital would have been the ideal thing out here. But I was too late on so if you have a comprehensive plan, those are the kind of things that we can go for, the community needs.
Yeah.
Still a good topic for billing them is that sort of thing. Places for, future development of things of that nature.
Anything else? Dave, do you have anything? You be interested? What do you think, Tom? You're a solicitor for quite a few communities.
Yeah, it's and I'm going to try to come out and sit down with you guys next week because I'm trying to, as you can see, get a handle on how in this multi-municipal, and it's kind of really all the communities have a lot in common, but it's not like when it's easy to understand when you have 2 communities and they're right next to each other, so that you look at them just as a bigger whole, kind of. But it's not geographically tied, so I'm not sure how, and I'm interested to learn from when folks get on board how you take the kind of comprehensive planning process and then morph that into where you're talking about actually recommendations for like zoning ordinance specific stuff when
Right.
you're here, I'm here.
Right.
We did, the last one we did like that was in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it seemed to work pretty good, because they kind of work each community by themselves.
Right.
It's not one big plan. It's
Right.
kind of designated for each municipality or
Okay.
whatever,
So they're just getting the efficiencies, but everybody's kind of doing their own little
yeah.
things.
And that's why they want to know a little bit ahead of time so they can, when they invite somebody in for a
Yeah.
meeting, just pick on whoever they want, an
Yeah.
engineering firm or a consultant rather, what they're going to do or how.
Yeah, so I guess, and what they'll do is, they'll probably coalesce, and when you guys have a lot of concepts that you're all in common on, then they can work on them as a whole, but I could see probably procedurally at some point, it will break off into each little community, and it'll probably look like at that point, and that may be 6 months from now, who knows, at that point, it'll start looking maybe a little bit like a Mount Pleasant
Right, really zeroing in on.
comprehensive
yeah,
plan
right.
as far as like the public input and
Yeah.
all the discourse about it. So, when was the meeting next week?
The 7th.
Okay.
And Smith Township is.
Is in it.
That was the 5th one, yeah.
Okay.
It's in Burgettstown.
Okay. time is it?
You're asking me too many questions.
That's all right, I'll catch up with you.
9 a.m.
Look what happened with South Fayette town, and that, you know, down around Birchville, how that went,
Oh, yeah. And believe me, what you saw, that was probably 10, 15 years in the making. All that stuff down there. Because we had a little, I represent Bridgeville. So we were interacting with some of that because that border right there is partially ours. Most of that land there, that is mostly South Fayette. But we got involved in a lot of like the interchange improvements that were between like PennDOT, South Fayette, the developer, and Upper St. Clair in some aspects.
And I just reread this. They may be having consultants there.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
To interview.
it's right,
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anybody have anything else?
yeah, like, it should be laid out, you know, a plan should be laid out. It shouldn't just keep happening, like how they had to change the road there on 50 going in, because everything was just piece by piece. There was no,
Were you talking over in South Fayette, Bridgeville?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they did that in phases, but actually, believe it or not, a lot of that was coordinated. Everything from making that seven lane bridge to the slip, they call it a slip joint thing that they did to get you onto there, and then the
That was
Chartiers
crazy.
Avenue thing. It was kind of as far as piecing the puzzle together. Because what they did was, it may have looked at, disconnected, but there was a method to their madness. They were actually still working on a design of the bridge ultimately, when in the meantime they thought it was and it actually did, it was really a release valve. Just putting that, before they did all the other changes, and they put that, what they call this little slip valve that let people go down past Bethany Church and shoot onto the highway. That actually drained a lot, just that little thing before they even did the bridge improvements.
but if you don't know it, it's kind of crazy in a way, you get in the wrong lane there.
Yeah. Well, at least we're not out by Edgewood next week.
But see, that's what, like, if we could plan kind of highways or whatever, so you don't have to do it once you have buildings all in there. That would be my recommendation.
Yeah. And you guys have a lot better open palette out here in a lot of places.
Right.
Like they did up in North Fayette, and that was probably like 25 years ago. Now you see what's happened since there. And the comprehensive planners may even get into this, and you may have gotten into where they do zoning maps. Not a zoning map, an official map. And those, they actually do stuff. And so I was actually met North Fayette, just for example. They was very forward thinking. In 2004, when they were putting together some of the stuff you're looking at, they were actually looking down the road and saying, okay, what roads may need to be 4 lanes like 30 years from now? And they were actually going back, and it's all about eminent domain and taking. Because if you think you're going to have a road 20 years from now down here that's this wide, and right now your road right away is this wide, somebody goes and puts a $500,000 building in there, or $1 million building, you got a problem when you've got to put a 4-lane highway in there because you got to pay to take out $1 million. So what they'll do is they kind of strategically try to plan places where they think you're going to have major corridors in your future road plan, and they'll go and they'll shift all the setbacks and make like 50-foot rights of way where there used to be 35s. Some of the present owners, that kind of area, the setbacks get pushed back, but for future owners, then it makes it easier to build roads without costing a gazillion dollars to take all the properties that are in the future right of way. And they may get into that too in the comprehensive plan. Something to talk to them about that.
Okay.
Is it the goal to have a new or an updated plan every 10 years, or like what's the?
Yeah, the MPC says you're supposed to do a comprehensive plan every 10 years.
Okay.
There's no penalty for not doing it, but that's kind of like, I guess that was the best practices.
Okay.
A lot of places do. We're probably about 8 years, 7. It was like, I think 15, 16 or so when they were 17 when they finished the comprehensive plan, and then 17, 18 when they turned when we did ours into our last comprehensive zoning ordinance update. This will, I assume, eventually lead to something of that nature as well.
Okay. Anything else? Make a motion for adjournment? Kathy?
Yes.
Dave seconds?
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Would you like to flip the switch, please? That's your